It's another weekend. It's time to watch the elections, and here, your election center, Citi TV, and Politicos is here just to do same for you. It's a big deal. The NDC is going to launch its campaign this weekend in Cape Coast. What is the message they are going to give to the electorate? Meanwhile, while they're doing that, their government is being rated poorly. The Center for Democratic Development has come out with a survey which says 7 out of 10 Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. What message is the NDC going to send to Ghanaians to deserve a re-election? This is Politicos. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. You are welcome. Okay, so the governing National Democratic Congress, the NDC founded by Jerry John Rawlings, is launching its campaign this weekend, Sunday to be specific, in the central region. It's going to outline a number of reasons. What is a campaign launch? And how different is that from a manifesto launch? Because we are hearing the manifesto would not be launched. Fred Tete Jabano is in Citi Newsroom. He is with the political desk and he joins me on Politicos now. So, Fred, what does it mean for a party, a governing party, to say they are launching their campaign?
And launching the campaign is just about telling the whole country that we are ready for the political season. We are ready to put out the message we want to give to you, the message on which we're going to ride on to win the elections in come December. So basically what the NDC is going to do on Sunday is that they're just going to tell Ghanaians that from today onwards, we are going on real political messaging. The president initially, had a tour, and the tour was the Accounting to the People tour. That one was seen as a more official duty. But this time round, whatever the president does from now, after Sunday, is going to be something leaned onto the campaign, leaned onto December.
So does it mean some people will be outdoored at this campaign launch, or something will be outdoored? Anything new that will be seen?
The president himself will be outdoored as the flag bearer of the party. Some few weeks ago, they named a campaign team chaired by the General Secretary of the party, Johnson Esedu Nketia. Those people would also be outdoored, and then the party would give its plan as to how the campaign is going to run from the national to the regional down to constituency and the branches.
So the coincidence now is that the president is also the flag bearer of the NDC. So at what point do we determine that, okay, he's on the campaign trail or he's on the state's duty trail? How do we differentiate between the two, moving into the elections?
I'm sure that on issues or on tours where the president will be working as on official duties, that people within the presidency and government would issue statements on days that he's going on a political tour. I'm sure the difference will be made known to us.
Let's talk about the campaign, the launch proper, where it's going to take place. It's going to be in the central region, Cape Coast, Sports Stadium, I believe.
Exactly. The launch is going to be at the Cape Coast Stadium tomorrow, Sunday. No. But before yesterday, which was Friday, there were Muslim prayers. Today, this morning, they are going to have the SDA church service. Okay. Then tomorrow, they'll go in to have another church service. Then on Sunday, tomorrow afternoon, they would go to the Cape Coast Stadium to launch the
regional party secretary said they're expecting about 40,000 people to throng the stadium for this event. That must be a very loud rally, if you like. And we know that there was a place of a ban on noise making and drumming, which we hear was lifted. Do we know whether the NDC orchestrated this lifting, or it was a purely traditional affairs?
It's not been clear as to whether the NDC orchestrated this lifting of the ban or the traditional people did it on their own. There are reports that the party went in to give some money and some booze to compensate the gods. The party hasn't come clear to say whether it's true or not. The chiefs have also not come to deny it. But what it is that the ban on drumming and noise making was lifted, even though time wasn't up for it to be lifted. It was lifted, and the NDC would be having their campaign launch on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Fred Tete Jabano from Citi News, Political Desk. And Citi TV, your election center, will be at Cape Coast for that all-important campaign launch of the National Democratic Congress to see what issues they are putting across to the electorate and find out if you, the viewer, would be swayed So this week, the Center for Democratic Development Ghana, CDD, has come up with some startling statistics. It's a survey they have conducted, and the figures or the results show that there's not a lot of excitement about government's policies. Many people think the state of ship is being driven in the wrong direction. Sixtus Don Ulo is a man who's been watching that poll, and he joins me here on Politicos. So who did the CDD consult for these results?
A whole lot of Ghanaians, a cross-section actually, from the 10 regions of Ghana. They sampled 2,400 individuals whom they spoke to. Now, it is interesting when you look at the demographics of the survey. They had people from rural Ghana, from urban Ghana. They had people with higher education from the tertiary level through to the informal sector, the non-formal sector. So, for instance, it's very interesting that they interviewed about 46% of the respondents were persons who have just had the second cycle education as their highest level of education. When you look at persons with tertiary education, they were just about 15%. So, indeed, the results, you could say, is a reflection of what the actual people on the ground think
the younger
about.
people.
The younger people, the people you could say are the ones who are feeling the true brunt of whatever is happening.
They broke it down into a number of parameters, haven't they, the CDD survey?
Yes, they did. First of all, they asked questions as to the general assessment of the economic situation of the country. And 73% of the 2,400 persons who spoke said that they thought the country was headed in the wrong direction. They don't believe that the economic situation of the country is anything good to write home about. Now, they asked them about their personal economic situation, and 65% of those people, the respondents, said that, look, when you compare my situation presently to my situation 2-3 years ago, I am worse off today. And so that is how they looked at it. And now they went further to ask the respondents to rate the performance of government in, for instance, how the government has performed when it comes to bridging the gap between the poor and the rich. And Sanda, 62% of the respondents said that, no, we think that the gap has not been bridged. We think that government has performed poorly on that score. Government is not doing enough. They also ask about government's ability or performance on holding down prices. This is one thing that we hear about every day on the airwaves. And again, we had 62% of the respondents saying that government has performed poorly on that score.
Specifically on the ground, what did people say would influence their vote?
Very interesting. They are more concerned with the roads. That is top on the list. They are more concerned about the nature of the roads in the country. And you have as much as 76% of the respondents saying that we want good roads, and so we are going to first of all ask ourselves whether our roads are good enough. If they are good enough, we are going to vote again for the current administration. If they are bad, we are going to look elsewhere for help. And instructively, a lot of the people said that, yes, we believe a different administration could do a better job.
That's interesting, but quickly before you go, so 2,000 or so as a sample, based on previous surveys that we have seen, would you say that's representative enough of the 27 or so million Ghanaians?
Well, you have to also take into consideration the availability of resources, the amount of time the researcher has to do or put all of these things together. And of course, you look at the dynamics when it comes to the regional distribution of the respondents and all of that. But roughly speaking, when you go through the CDD report, yeah, they did well to touch base with all the regions with as many as 120-something districts. So that's reflective enough.
Anyway, thank you. Sixtus Don Ulo is a man who was watching that CDD report. The survey that said 7 out of 10 Ghanaians believe the ship of state was being steered in the wrong direction. Can John Mahama fix that with the launch of his campaign this weekend? Can Nana Akufo-Addo capture that? Capture the seat of government based on this survey? We'll be finding out and we'll be doing this analysis for you here on Politicos. But that's how we end this weekend's edition of Politicos here on Citi TV with me, Umaru Sanda Amadu. Do join us same time next week with another exciting edition and analysis of the top stories that made the headlines in the week.